G'day guys, welcome to part 10 and the final part of the Tea20 refurbishment. I don't call them a restoration because I don't do restorations. It's just a clean up, it's just a refurbish, just making nice what's there. Anyway, let's hook straight in and get into this. Bonnet's on, guys. I'm going to have to do a couple of touch-ups, and that bottom bolt down there on the pivot is a bit stripped out, so it'll have to come back off again. Plus it's touching down the bottom. Don't know if you'll be able to see it. See, there's a bit hard to see. It's a bit of a rub mark there, and on the other side, it's hitting the grill. As I say, it had a lot of panel beaten, so it's an alignment issue. And what's happening is when you drop it down, see how it's sitting a bit proud. And what it is, I'm almost certain it's the front touching the radiator, and that's holding it up. So I'm going to pull the bonnet back off and just grind away a bit in the back of the grill there so it comes shut. As I say, it's not bad, but I've got to touch up a couple of spots. See, I marked it there, so, you know, and there's a paint run there. So I'll touch that up with a couple of other spots once it's finished. But now that that's on, I'll work out a position for the headlights. They've got to go here somewhere, which you've also got to allow for the fact that the radiator's there. So, yeah, a bit of a clearance issue there, which we'll work around. Yeah, one step closer. Well, guys, we got to the bottom of why the bonnet wasn't shutting properly. Long story short, because I had moved the radiator forward a little bit to try and allow for the thematic fan, that was interfering with all this in here. Now with the grilling, it was butting up against those bolts and all of that and giving me a real hard time. So I've pushed the radiator back as far as I can, trimmed off on the water pump, which I'll show you. You can see that nylock nut in there, that's trimmed right back. I've got a bit of a gap there. I can probably go back a bit more. Yeah, I'm adjusting the radiator via the hose. The further you push that in, the more that stands up that way and gives me more clearance. It's closing up. There's no gap up the end there now and that, but don't know what I'm going to do about the grill. That's a different matter. So what I'm thinking is something custom. And I don't know yet, but I'll put, something with bars to match the original. Like so, I just don't know what, like something in aluminium might look all right. Anyway, we're not worried about that. What we are doing is putting in the headlights, and I think I've worked out a position which is that cross there. Just got to watch. If you look at the headlight, you can see how far out that bolt goes with the wire through it and that, and they're the nuts and washers. I'm starting to get a clearance issue between the bonnet and the radiator. So in between this gap here and the bonnet. So if you saw, it's going to be a bit hard to see. Sort of that gap, bit hard there. You can't really see that gap in there. I think I'm just going to have enough. If not, I'll have to put some sort of a spacer behind that swivel and the panel. So in other words, say if that's the panel, I need something in that gap there. Sorry, that's better. Because that's how far it sticks out. Yeah, I don't know, we'll look on that. But anyway, I think that'll be the location where those little dots are. I think that's pretty close to where the factory had them. And, well, I've got to drill a hole at some point, so we're going to get brave. We're going to drill a hole and see what happens. Well, that's one of the headlights, guys. You get the idea. It's got to be, adjusted and set up properly and that. I've only just sort of thrown it in there. Got to do the other side, but they look all right with the black. They sort of go with the colour scheme. Yeah, I've just got enough clearance with those wires. I'll put some split loom on it to protect it as well. I mean, you're not going to be opening them up that much that it's going to be. If you open them up your bonnet that much, you've probably got problems. Because you can just about top everything, well, except for the radiator. You can top up the oil and all of that, you know, without opening the bonnet. But yeah, we'll see how we go with that. As I say, they're sort of just a little bit out of square. Not that I'm going to be doing a lot of night driving, but yeah, they'll be right. Well, we got some headlights, guys. As I think I said, I was lucky I managed to have enough clearance just between the radiator and the actual retaining bolts for the headlights. They've just got to be wired up and aimed, and yeah, there you go. Well, we got some wiring going in here, guys, and the choke. I nearly forgot that. I started putting all the air cleaner assembly on and all of that, and thought, shit, I haven't put the choke lever in. So there's your choke lever there. Seems to be working all right. This is all going up the front. That's got to be tidied. This is all pretty much done. It's clear of the throttle linkage. Air cleaner's got to go on now. Yeah, battery's wired to the positive. The rest of it's sort of done. It's not a fantastic job, I'm no wire, but it'll hopefully work and look reasonable. All that spaghetti's for the headlights, which are in, as you know. Other side is done. You can see there, that wiring's done. Up through there, taped up to the box. You've seen the box. The last thing I'll do is hook up the negative cable, which will be down to one of those bolts on the engine there somewhere. And that will become an earth, obviously. Getting damn close. The petrol tank's been painted, so out here, hanging on the little trestle, whatever they're called, bloody things I've got. The petrol tank's been painted, so that's just drying. Then we can plumb the fuel, put oil and water in it, and hit the bloody gear stick and see if it's actually going to go. We are getting real close now, guys. It's yeah, just a few final little bits and pieces. Air cleaner's on. It's all very tight in there. Where that throttle shaft goes through, there's just a tiny bit of clearance there on the cable. And the choke lever, that one, down there. It's all pretty tight through there. Mate, it's probably the way I've done the wiring. Could have left a little bit more room there. Anyway, it is what it is. If it's going to be trouble, well, we'll do something else. Put the tube on down to the carby, so that's done. New rubbers. The rubber they supply for that is a little bit big, so I'll just go down the Super Cheap and just get a little piece with a bend in it, and that'll fix that. Yeah, so air cleaner's on. I've got to put oil in the oil bath. Yeah, headlights, as you know. Yeah, starting to get real close now. The anticipation's building and the nerves are building. Is it going to run? Is it going to go? Is it going to blow up in me face? It's yeah, we'll see. As I say, I painted the tank, guys. It's not bolted in yet, or nor is it plumbed. Come up not too bad, nice and shiny. Polished up the little brass cap a bit. Looks all right. Yeah, hopefully there won't be too many issues with that bonnet stay rubbing on this. I've seen it before, or is it the side of the bonnet? Anyway, yeah, it's yeah, it sort of matches up. It matches in quite nice with the colours. Wiring's done, guys. Couple of little issues. The headlights are working, but I think I got me low and high beam arse about. Doesn't matter, that's just a matter of changing those two wires there, the green and the brown. No ignition, but I think I've just screwed up the power. I've got crank, it cranks over all right. As I say, we've got headlights. Ran the wiring down through here, put a clamp there and down under there. You've got to watch your clearances in here. Put a plug if ever I have to disconnect it. Yeah, that's sort of done there. Done all this side, as I think you've seen. As I say, just a couple of plugs in case it's ever got to be disconnected. The earth, there's no sparks, so that's a good sign. But yeah, I've got no ignition. Nothing to, I've got power to the circuit breaker. Nothing to the hour meter, couldn't think of the name of it. But I think it's just something simple. I've screwed up a wire, or a wire's fallen off or something like that. So we'll investigate, because there's the, pardon my fingers, there's your ignition switch right there. Yeah, oh, and I've got a couple of dash lights too. 1 or 2 are out, but we've got dash lights. So yeah, considering I made the loom from scratch, it's not so bad. If everything works and that and doesn't explode in my face, I'll be quite happy. Well, guys, as I think I said, I wasn't getting any power to the points, and I traced it through to that bolt. I think the way I had it set up was actually earthing out on the body, which results in no power. So if you have a look, down in there, you'll see that round sort of fibre ring, but when I put a nut and that on it and tightened it up, it actually pulled into the body. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put that little rubber ring in there somehow. It's a little bit tight, but we'll make it fit. Hang on, I need 2 hands for this. I'll be back in a minute, guys. Yeah, we put that little fibre or rubber ring underneath that. It's still a little bit loose, but that shouldn't matter. There's no real movement there. I've got to put nuts on the other side for things like that. So yeah, it should be all right. We're going to just try it now and see what happens. We should now have power to the points, guys. If you look closely, we got power there. So plumbed up the fuel line, guys. Just with a new bit of copper pipe. That's not that tight. I don't know how well that's going to pull up. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see with that. I think I'll have to be taking that apart again. And just with a filter in there, as you can see, around to the tap. So tank's on. We'll put the battery in. In fact, before I do that, I'll put a little bit of juice in it and just see what leaks we've got. Well, we're just about ready to turn the key, guys. Never rains, it pours. You can just sort of make out there's a little bit of a leak there. Doesn't matter. I had a funny feel in the radiator. I had it sealed up, but I think I might have buggered it up when I put that bloody fan in. Anyway, we can have another go at that. It's no big deal. We've got fuel and none of it's leaking. We've got oil, none of it's leaking. We've got water and it's leaking. We're just about to tighten up the terminal and give her a crank over and see what's going to happen. The governor's not set yet, but that shouldn't stop it from running. Well, guys, these are the last of the components to be cleaned and painted. That's the carry-all I made a couple of years back. Just give it a tart up. So that come up all right. They're the 3-point linkages and stabilisers. So they've just been done in black. Had just enough black paint. Yeah, just cleaned up the pins and some new... oh, what the hell do you call them? I can't... Not clevis pins. What do you... Anyway, whatever you call them. So that's all right. Now the... tractor, oh, that's the aluminium floor off the carry-all. The tractor, I turned up a new pin for the top of the drafting linkage there, so that's all right. That fits okay. That's nice. Just got to drill a hole in it for the pin. Everything else is done on the tractor, bar the radiator has a pinhole, as you know. I'm not mucking around. I've just ordered a new aluminium radiator for it, so that should be coming. I also want to just drill one hole in the thermostat, just to get a bit more water flow happening. The thermo fan works, and it works well, but I don't think there's enough circulation there, and it's actually coming on when it gets hot and sort of stays hot. When it's running up to temp, the bottom hose is it's warm, which says to me there's just not enough flow. And I'm thinking, does the thermostat restrict it a bit and it's tending to backflow through there? I don't know. Anyway, what else? A little hour motor works. There's a little bit of an oil leak, and it's coming from the oil pressure gauge. Now, this isn't even running, and look where the needle is. That's stuck. I had a look behind there, and it is leaking out of the pipe, so I've ordered a new gauge for that. And the only other thing is, I think I've already mentioned it. When you turn the ignition on, the red light comes on, and it starts and runs and all that, and that's good. Yeah, started first shot. When you turn off the key, it keeps going. And the light's on all the time. So I've got a little alternator wiring issue there somewhere, or a power supply. Other than that, she's done. On the grill, of course, and I'm hoping that with the aluminium radiator, I might have a little bit more luck fitting the grill. But yeah, so it's really close. But yeah, the brakes work, the clutch works, it moves. A little bit noisy because of the straight out pipe, but yeah, just those couple of things. As I say, the 3-point, the radiator, the oil pressure gauge, and then she's basically ready to rock and roll. Well, guys, the 3-point linkage and all that went straight on. Didn't expect any dramas with that. I haven't put the floor back in that yet. Just got to finish off the top pin up there. I'll just have to make a new one of them, so I'll finish that. Other than that, it come up all right. I mean, yeah, well, you've seen the carryall before. Lifts up and down too, which is good, so none of that's changed. Which I wouldn't expect because I didn't pull the PTO or gearbox or anything apart, as you know. Got our new radiator. So yeah, so I'll go through putting that in. Hopefully it's not too much of a drama. It's supposed to fit. And we also got our new oil pressure gauge, Spare X, and that'll fix the leaking one, hopefully. So if we can get those two jobs out of the way, then all that'll be is that bit of alternator wiring. And yeah, hopefully she's done. I'm sick of spending money on this bloody thing, but it is what it is. And I've gone this far. I mean, I'm not going to do anything by half. Yeah, let's get into it. Just looking at this oil pressure gauge, guys, that was leaking. If you look right in there, I don't know if I did it or what, or over-tightened it, the little cone that the pipe pulls up against, don't know what other word, little tape or whatever, is deformed. And the needle's stuck. I mean, have a look at that. Stuck on half and it's not even in. So I don't know if it got if I over-tightened it and damaged the internals and it leaked, or I don't know. Anyway, I've put the new one in and it's not leaking. It seems to be reading a lot better, you know, so that's all right. Yeah. Well, guys, here's our nice new aluminium radiator. Looks all right. Yeah, the centres, I was a bit worried. I thought they were a bit wide, but the centres marry up the same. Obviously, you have to use some sort of a, like a coach bolt or something with a square on it that'll actually get caught in that. So I'll either buy some coach bolts or fabricate something. Because I'm bloody 30 kilometres from the nearest hardware store, I'll probably fabricate something. All the rest of it appears the same. There's a hose for the, you know, for the overflow. So that's easy. Cap, all looks pretty fancy, pretty racy for the poor old Fergie. Don't know what that's for, and I don't know why they step this. Must be a reason for it, but what we're going to do now is we're going to take the thermatic fan off the old radiator, which is over there on the bench, and sit it on this and just see how hard it's going to be to fit it. I'm hoping there's no real issue. We're going to find out. Well, the fans, yeah, good and bad. I've got a bit of a gap underneath there. This is a lot higher in the side. I thought about trimming that out, but the chances of hitting the core are really, really high. I think I can get away with mounting it how it is. I think I'm a little bit taller, but I think I'll be all right. We're going to try. So I've marked where the holes go. You can make out the hole under the fin in there. You can just see that. I've also put some heat shrink around the bolts in case there's any vibration or anything. I hope I haven't put a pinhole in any of it. We won't know that, of course, until we put the bloody thing in and fill it up with water or coolant. Yeah, it's not bad. I thought about trimming a bit off the shroud around the fan, but the trouble is the actual blade will hit the side there. So, look, worst come to worst, I'll have to trim some of that off. We'll see how we go. Rest of it appears all right. As I say, I've got to fabricate a couple of bolts. No big... Actually, I'll probably almost get a bloody spanner in there to hold that. Yeah, might be lucky there. Might not be so bad. We'll see. Yeah, let's keep going. I just found a couple of bolts. Actually got the same thread as the original nuts. Just popped him in like that and slide it across. Put that rubber back how it was. You can actually get a spanner up in through there. So that's all right. I thought I was going to have to stuff around there. We should be right. This is just about ready to drop in and do a test fit. Well, it didn't just fall in, guys. I mean, obviously I've got problems with the thermo fan clearance, but we have clearance, so that's all right. The sides were fouling with the front of the bonnet. So I've just had to trim the insides of the bonnet a little bit, meaning, you can see along that lip there has to be trimmed a little bit. Other than that, it went in. Hoses, just filling up the radiator now. I'll test run it with water, and if it's all right, I'll drain it and put coolants in it. Hoses went on just fine. I just had to trim that main hose, the bottom hose a little bit. Yeah, we're just filling up now. We'll see if there's any leaks. So far, so good, but I don't think I've got a lot in there. Yeah, we'll fill it up and warm it up, see how we go. Go from there. Well, tractor's done, guys, except for that little electrical fault, which I'll get looked at in the new year. 3 points all done, the back's done, got the revolving light on. Well, guys, that's it for the tractor. It's going, it's finished, it's done. Yeah, been an interesting project, dirty one. Thank you to my subscribers, my viewers, and anyone else who contributes anything at all. Yeah, that's it for this one. We'll start a new project very shortly. Anyway, see you very soon.